That's a big one.
They had 180, so they must have got full as earth.
Civil War time.
During the late 1630s and early 1640s, the King and Parliament had decidedly grown apart. The actual reasons are far too complicated to explain in a half-an-hour term. But we do know that great magnates, like the Marquis of Worcester here, supported the King's cause. As soon as the war started, the Marquis of Worcester declared for the King, and the castle has the reputation of being the first fortified and the last rendered. When they say the last rendered, they mean the last one that surrendered in the First Civil War. This isn't strictly true. There's a few small garrisons held out a bit longer, but this is the last castle of any importance to surrender. Pendennis, the other castle of any importance, surrendered 2 days earlier. Most of the 17th century defences were built this side, because that side the land drops away and is naturally well defended. The whole point is to keep people back from the castle. Because even when it was built, they knew it was more or less obsolete. You can tell by the number of gun ports they've put in that they knew that gunpowder had really signalled the end of the great castles. The older work in the south gate has quite small windows compared to the windows in the modern main gate. We know that on June the 3rd, the siege started when Thomas Morgan turned up with 2,000 men. The garrison was then about 700. First thing he did was to come up to the castle and say, "Would you like to surrender?" Which of course the castle said no. But for the next few weeks, most of the action is quite small. We know that the Royalists rode out and raided the village of Raglan, and they actually caught a lot of the parliamentarians in the pub, is the legend. Whether it's true or not, I won't say. We also know that some of the parliamentarians rode up into the fields below the castle here and took the Royalist horse and cattle that were stabled there, quartered there. So it's not just the castle, I think it's quite a large area. Then on the year before, in 1645, King Charles visited Raglan. Now the importance of Raglan was not so much its fortification, although it is a large and strong fort. It was in Henry V Earl and the first Marquis. He was a very rich man, one of the richest men in Britain, and he spent a larger part of his fortune on the King's cause. What was important about Raglan was the Abergavenny road that led into the heartland of Wales, and from here they recruited troops, they were resourced from the castle and from the Marquis's wealth and sent off to the Royalist army. And large parts of the history of the Civil War, up to a third of the infantry were made up of Welshmen. So the Marquis of Worcester, was as important as his fortress. His family were also active leaders of various success. Charles Somerset commanded various raids into South Wales against Parliament forces there. And for that reason, after his defeat at the Battle of Naseby, the King came here to try and raise more money and more men. We're now going to go in through the south gate, which is the original gate to the castle. Sometime during its life, the orientation of the castle has changed slightly, and I'll tell you more when we get inside. If you look out into these fields, sometimes, depends on the light conditions and the crop conditions, where you have the angle of the hedge there, running across the field, you can sometimes make out some depressions. Those would have been the ditches that were slowly being built by the attackers, the parliamentarian attackers, to hem the defenders in. Our own time, because you're too large a group for me to do it with, the best viewpoint to see any of these outer earthworks is from the top of the Yellow Tower. I assume none of us have the rank of knight or higher?
Not yet.
No, right, okay. You're in the main living quarters for the family. Unless you had business to do, you'd be unlikely to be in here unless you were a knight or a squire or higher. this is personal for the family. Takes a little bit of imagining now, but it'd been largely refurbished in the Tudor period, so the interior walls would have large windows. The main entrance staircase was there. You can tell by the ruins that remain, but just the number of fireplaces. Although the windows are quite small on the outside, it was obviously a very comfortable area. Most of the rooms would have a fire. There was also a fountain in the middle, hence the name the Fountain Court. In July 1645, it said the King visited here. Now, speaking as a modern-day parliamentarian, I do not have a great deal of respect for Charles I as a man. And one of his things that he did that gives me this opinion happened here. He asked Marquis of Worcester's steward, which was the main servant, more than a butler because he handled finances and the household complete. He asked the steward for the keys to the treasury. The steward, being a good servant, went straight to his master and said, "The king has asked for the keys for the treasury." And the Marquis of Worcester got out of his bed and took the keys to the king. It was a great insult to actually ask the man who had spent so much time and money on his cause to actually ask to see basically his bank balance without him knowing. We also know that during the king's visit that the Marquis of Worcester got himself locked in a room with the king for several hours and lectured him on the virtues of kingship. I find the character of the Marquis of Worcester fascinating. Although politically he's opposite to my modern views, he is a very steadfast and straight man. What you saw is what you got. He also has a wonderful dry sense of humour. When the siege started, a man called Walter Powell got caught up in the castle. The Marquis of Worcester wrote him a pass to go through the lines, a letter to the opposition saying, "Please let this man go." The reason he gave was that the man's great age and infirmity. Walter Powell was a man in his 60s, the Marquis of Worcester was a man in his 80s. While we're in here, I'd like to tell you a bit about the siege, what happened at the end. So the siege is a very formal thing, and the earlier you surrender, the more you get in return for surrendering. So when Thomas Morgan turned up, if the Marquis had surrendered immediately, he probably would have kept his home. They'd done a few bits to destroy the defences, and that would have been it. This castle surrendered at the point where it was honourable to do so. Fairfax himself arrived, General Sir Thomas Fairfax, the general of the New Model Army, not Cromwell. Cromwell didn't become general for quite a few years afterwards. Arrived on the 7th of August. The siege was well underway, the main earthworks had been built to hem the castle in, and on the 15th of August, this hole was opened up in the wall. As soon as that wall collapsed, and if the gunners were good, they would try and collapse it into the ditch so you had something to walk across. The garrison said, "Can we talk about this, please?" The terms were very standard. Basically, the castle and everything in it would be given to Parliament. All the soldiers were given full honours of war to leave, and that means they were allowed to go with their colours flying, to take their weapons with them, drums beating, trumpets going. It's quite a military parade out. Officers were allowed to keep their bag and baggage. So basically, what you could carry with you, you could take. Everything else stayed here. The common soldiers were given passes just to go home. The war's over, you go home. Officers were given 3 months to make their peace with Parliament or leave the country. And during that time, no one would be questioned in their part in the war. So if you think about it, it's very hard in a civil war to know when requisitioning a horse for your cavalry unit becomes horse theft. So they were very cautious of not being done for civil crimes, what they'd done in the war. Parliament wanted Worcester to go to London to make a show of their victory, because for all they knew at the time, this was the end of the war. At the last moment, the Marquis of Worcester agreed, against the advice of his officers, that he would go to London. Now, personally, I think as a man in his 80s, he had no desire to go abroad, and he thought it was easier to make his peace early than to be forced into making it. Nothing happened, though, because he died in the autumn in London, and on his deathbed he asked where he was to be buried. And he was told he'd be buried in Windsor Castle. And again, his dry sense of humour comes to the fore when he says, "Oh well, in that case, I shall have a better castle in death than I had in life." So even on his deathbed he's making jokes. Right, we're now going to go into the Pitchstone Court. As well as the cannons battering that wall, we also know there was a number of mortars. Now a mortar throws a grenade, which is a round shell, about 13 inches, I think the ones here were. And you have to light the small, short, stubby cannon fuse and the fuse in the grenade and hope that neither go out. If the one in the grenade goes out, it's all right, you just throw fairly inert object into the castle. If the one in the cannon goes out, you have the shell that is aimed to damage the castle actually stood by you. You aim to land the shell, it has a very high arc, you throw it over the walls, and you aim to burst it just above the ground. You have the fire effect of the explosion, you have the metal fragments from the casing being thrown round. If you're close enough to the cobbles, you also have the cobblestones being thrown round. So this was the least healthy place to be in the siege. But as I said, a better image rather than the continual explosions, are small patches of fire with a gap. So you would have watchmen up in the towers who would shout a warning that the cannons looked ready to fire. People would scatter behind any cover they could. You would get a short intense amount of firing and noise and smoke and damage, and then you would pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and continue with your work for the next half hour before it was ready to go again. This is the gate through which Thomas Fairfax came to accept the surrender. In the medieval period, the gatehouse had become one of the strongest parts of the castle. Because it has to have a hole through the walls, it's thought of a weak point. And you can see here, they've used all sorts of skill to defend the castle. There are a number of drops for portcullises, there would be a drawbridge, be a number of gates, you can see the jambs, there's all holes through to fire arrows and muskets. There was almost certainly murder holes above you. Because in medieval period, without the use of gunpowder, they have to break their way through each door, and each stage they lose casualties. We also know that the gate, main for the gate you see in front, was purely ornamental, and in front of it was to be a second gate, which was partially built. Some people also say there were marble staircase there. The gate was never finished, and the Marquis of Worcester was continually asked to finish the gate, because there were old Welsh predictions that there would be an unfinished third gate at Raglan, there would be a great war, and then there would be a time of trouble. It also continues with woe be to the Welsh when the king comes to Raglan. Within 13 months of the king being at Raglan, the demolition process has already started. But within 25 years of the siege, people are writing saying how decayed it is, and saying that there were only 30 vaults. Well, there are 4 of those 30 vaults still stand here. So not much more than standing now than then. Obviously time, the elements, people pinching stone have also done its harm. But they did a good job in smashing it. But amongst the things they did, they burnt the library. They dragged the moats for treasure, and not finding any, they broke the banks of the great fish ponds and drained the fish ponds. A lot of the timber was taken from here to Monmouth, and from there to Bristol to rebuild the bridge that had been burnt down. The strongest part of this castle in military terms was of course the Great Tower, or the Yellow Tower. This they contemplated taking down with explosives. It wouldn't work. They had to cut down through the walls, mine underneath, shore it up with wooden timbers, set fire to the wooden timbers, and it all fell down in one lump. 2 of the sides came down in one piece, according to the descriptions, and in 1670 it was described as still lying there in one piece. I think, so personal belief, if you look at inside, you can actually sometimes see some of the remains of what happened as it fell. Certain bits of wall look out and through. Must have been a hell of a jolt as, well, wouldn't like to calculate what weight of stone fell out. Well, thank you for your attention. If anyone has any questions, please ask me afterwards. There'll be, for those who weren't on the first one, there'll be another tour in about 10 minutes, which would concentrate on the more civilian aspects of a life in a household of this.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, if you go on her tour, she'll probably tell you where everybody is.
I was thinking of the
This is the kitchen.
Yeah.
How did they get the food to the table? Because the Great Hall is over there.
Oh, I said that. It's in sorts of different places. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you go on her tour, she'll probably tell you where everybody is.
I was thinking of the big man himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just coming, yeah. Yes. Yeah, it says this is a busy passage for taking food by the servants to the...
Yeah.
So you probably go all the
This passageway leads out into a lower storage room.
Take your camera down.
Alright, if you insist. Going up. Hello.
Not as good
Hello.
as it used to be.
What's it?
I've got to try your pulse.
Come on.
That's not bad for a
Get
youngster.
it on
Oh,
there.
thank you very much. You're too kind. Are you dead then?
Yeah.
There it is. Good old bump.
There's a bit of
Hey.
bump that side than that side. Half of me's dead.
That sounds about right for the Barretts. What do you think?
Mine's calmed down.
Oh my word. It's a long way down there.
Go straight across, past where your car is.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yeah.
And then towards that red car there, there's a line straight from your car to there.
You're right.
And you keep going across into the rough field.
Oh yeah,
and you
see that
can
ditch?
You can see a ditch and a
All the way
line
up to the hedge.
right up to the hedge. That's where the defence line was.
Hmm. And that must be Raglan.
You called me trying to get up, didn't you? Alright, I'm up now.
Oh, please. Oh, look, Morecambe and Wise.
Oh, I thought that. I thought that's what they were. Remote walk.
Where they put the logs?
That's all right.
Here we are then in Raglan, just going up,
For the camera.
just going up the high street. It's quite tight, just like you said, pretty little place. Just past the Beaufort Arms on the right, but I don't think I got it on the camera. Oh, is that recording? It's flashing straight in the middle of the screen. It is.
You're not recording then? Oh.
It's the tape. It's running towards the end of the tape.
Oh.
That's it. That's Raglan.
Yeah. Well, that was a great
Where to now then?
Who knows?
This is a tunnel on the way to Monmouth. No matter, you can slow down with you. How about that?
How about that? Oh, yes.
Mum and I came here on a day out many moons ago.
I came out with you one day.
Yeah, he's been here.
Yeah, I was saying, on a coach trip.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's handy.
That was
60?
1967, I think.
Was it before we were married?
Yeah.
Yes, I suppose it must have been.
Yes, it was another one of those things that upset my mother.
Was it? Why
You
was
went
that?
for a day trip?
Well, I don't think she was very enamoured of the fact that we came out like it. Spending money.
She liked to go out as a family though, didn't she?
Spending money we couldn't afford.
Quite like Monmouth. Oops. Down the bottom end there somewhere, that little old chap in the shop said, if you like it, move here.
What do you do? Where do we go? Straight up here.
Thought that was it.
That's the old yield hall
Where's
thing.
Wales, he said that
Yeah, there's a little chap down here, but he said it to me. I was talking to him outside about Swedes and that, and I said, he said, oh, I grow them things. I said, oh, you got a farm, let's say, yeah, just outside the town, he said. So I said, oh, not far to come. I said, we're only here visiting, but I said, it's beautiful, we love it here. And he said to me, well, why don't you move down here? Right,
Quite interesting, that.
it's recording.
Oh, it's a bit of Monmouth you haven't seen before, isn't it?
It's a woman world, certainly.
we're now going for
The old Mag's here, see?
Tell you what, before we go back out, let's go down here and have a look.
Well, you've got some of the back streets of Monmouth here.
We haven't been round there.
No, we've usually stayed in the main road, haven't we? Good Lord.
Shows we've been right round.
Yeah, we haven't been down there, should we? No, we better not.
Do you want me to look the young ladies up and down?
Pervert.
Yes.
You're my son.
Strange request.
Well, if I'm a driver, I thought you might be one if I took pictures for you. Whoops. Oh, goodness. If I didn't have glasses on, I'd have a black eye now.
What's that?
St John's, a silver-coloured.
You'll see that.
We've been to things down there.
God. Oh, shades of Duncan's car. He had one like that colour, didn't he?
Uh-huh.
An Avenger. I think it was. Or was that his Viva?
The Wide Valley.
Forest of Dean, is that a brother to Nellie Dean?
He's off again,
He is, Rob.
That's an army barracks there, isn't it?
On the school.
That's the other
School.
side of the Monmouth School.
Oh, we went round the back of that.
Oh, we did.
Yes.
There were all a lot of smarty pantsies. Oh, I remember this bridge. Wye Valley, that's where you want.
Yep.
No, he doesn't. He wants to go to Tintern.
Yeah, that's the Wye Valley.
Mother.
Mother.
Delta.
Tintern, Severn Bridge.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
That's where the Wye Valley is. What's the matter with you?
You just follow this road. I thought the Forest of Dean was down here.
No, Forest of Dean was up to the left.
Oh, wow. I could always see with a camera stuffed in my eye.
It's only 10 miles to Tintern. We might look to go into Tintern Abbey.
Well, I think we might be able to.
Why would you need your lights?
I don't want to go through the rain. I wasn't going around that fast, was I?
No.
I did it just to
Psychedelic.
get a different view of the thing.
Yes, I'll give it that.
Well, you said play about with it and do odd things.
Stuff it down in trousers, why don't you?
Would you like to speak to the camera, Adrian? No. I thought not. Something I haven't done ever.
What? Surely not.
I think you got this bit of me.
Yeah, you have to tilt it back a bit like that, yeah.
Yes.
That's it, that's all it is.
That'll do.
Would you like to say something, Mother?
Yeah, go away.
You sure?
Right, go away.
Well done, you missed a sign saying we're in Redbrook.
Could you go back?
Oh, ah, what's that? Clearwell Castle.
We're Gloucester.
Have a look at it then. Where
Bloody see it, could you?
Where is it?
Up that road.
Oh, why did we go up there then?
I didn't see the sign.
Oh,
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, I got poked in both.
Through the garage that's
You
closed.
won't get much petrol here.
Oh. What? I didn't think they'll...
The garage is closed.
Well, no, but...
There's somebody there waiting for petrol. Thought that was rather
I
interesting.
should have him on film.
Hey, bridge up there.
Over the River Kwai.
No, under the river railway.
Over the River Wye.
Under the railway.
Oh, I got a beautiful bridge.
Under that railway that wasn't there, I
Now, what I'm looking for is another church. So I haven't taken many churches today, and Aidan seems to have a love affair with churches.
Oh, it's only because they're pretty buildings in the right context and you ran out of film, it's a shame.
No, well, we're on the border of Wales, Chepstow, and
What's this castle then?
2/3 of a mile. We're on the border of Wales, Chepstow, and somewhere else.
oh, that's right.
Well, is Chepstow a county suddenly then?
No.
Gloucestershire. No, just gone into
Now we're going
Gloucestershire.
to Gloucestershire again.
Did you catch the sign?
No, he hasn't a clue what he's doing. He just...
Yeah, it's on. I've got the. I've got the camera pointing the right way, so
Oh,
if it's there, I
too
got
big.
it.
You nearly said something naughty then.
No, I didn't. Would I do something like that?
Very much so. You're not zoomed in, are you?
Oh, I've got a
That was
church.
That was the church tower we saw.
I've got a church for Adrian. Oh my goodness. Why don't you go a little bit faster? Oh, it's a lovely willow tree. Oh,
Nobody ever comes down this road, do they?
thank goodness the way Adrian's driving.
Yes.
Freehouse, the
On
ostrich.
television.
Never heard of it.
The ostrich.
Oh, fancy having a pub out here.
13th century inn.
What else?
It doesn't say anything about the oat actually. Nice wisteria there. Oh, big house there, that was lovely. Did you see that stonework?
Nice all round. Fresh salmon.
Wyndham
The River
Arms.
Wye.
Oh,
Clearwell Caves.
Caves. Castle is up this way.
All right.
And the caves are down that way.
I've got another church for you, Adrian. That's 2 of them.
Very good.
Do you wish to go to some caves, Adrian?
What's there? 6 o'clock.
What?
Stop, steady, I mean.
Well, is that the castle?
Oh, it is. There's private no entry. Oh,
Right.
all this way not to get in, eh?
He's found another castle.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Probably another one that we can't
Oh,
get into.
whose David is up there?
I'll tell you what, this castle's going to be a youth hostel because it says Castle Youth Hostel. We're not going to
What's that up there?
So it's only about car park for patrons. Oh, what's that?
I think that's a castle.
You could be right, Adrian. Can't see a lot of it for the
Moat
trees.
Society of St. Rebel.
Oh, there's windows there. Oh, God.
Lived in.
Oh, youth
It's a youth
hostel.
hostel.
It is a youth hostel.
I told you.
You can only get in there if you're going to stop the night. Oh, I've got a few pictures for you. St. Briavels Castle. I think one or other of us ought to see where we're going, don't you?
Off, isn't it?
That's 2
Yeah.
castles.
Still looking up? Just turn the camera that way. It's all hope
If we go to Tintern,
And do
we might
what?
be able to get in the Abbey.
Turn the camera around. You don't have to follow it.
All four there.
Yeah, like that.
You can.
Just hold it steady, like that. That's fine.
Don't know what
Tilt it
pictures
up a
you
bit.
might get.
Tilt it. That's it. That's fine. That's fine.
Well, this is rather nice round here, but
Oh, there's that little tower that was in the church, that
You
thing we
might
saw
go
from a
Church is
distance.
right behind.
you
That's
might be
right.
able to get out the other end.
Oh, it's a nice little bit of garden all around here.
Perhaps you can go in the garden then and just
Oh,
sit.
lovely buddleia. Oh,
Oh dear.
and the George. Looking down the street. And Adrian in a pensive mood. Well, it looked very nice. I'm sorry about that, Adrian. I'm so sorry. You know.
I hate to think I had to give you that punch in the mouth.
Go. Now he can go into there. That's handy. Oh, they both can.
Two of them.
They both can.
Ah, that's handy, isn't it? Thank you very much.
And if I keep the camera here,
Yes.
get the bloody police. What are they doing round here with a camera? Oh, the golden rod, lovely.
Yeah,
Oh, I love it. Can't grow it though.
there was a little screen sign on the bridge of letters.
For footbridge. For
Yeah,
footwalkers.
but it did say Tintern left, didn't it?
Didn't turn left. Yeah,
It
well.
didn't say
I did turn left. If anyone else comes down here.
yeah, model
Wait,
railway.
wait, where are you going? There you can drive, please.
Well, get enough of it.
Old Tintern Station. Right, I've got it.
You don't mind if I go now?
No,
You're
we
too
can
kind.
go now.
Cheers now.
Oh, we don't know what's down here. Look at this.
The refreshments are in the train.
It's different, isn't it?
We came past here once before and that was good.
When did you come past here?
We can.
Are you sure?
Sure.
Or were you with that boyfriend of yours?
Ah, it might be good.
Why did you park there, Adrian?
Tintern!
No, this is Tintern. Don't you come out, I've got you on film, mate.
He's trying to. That car's waiting for him too. Look how bad luck he's having, isn't it? Why you take a picture of the road when the valley's over there, look?
Beautiful.
For God's sake, Adrian. Why do I have all this trouble with you? Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Oh, I saw it.
Tintern Abbey, turn left. Why did we come in then, Adrian?
We came in here.
Did we?
Yeah.
Right.
We haven't got too long, so I mean,
No,
it's
no,
going to
no.
be a quick skip anyway.
Right. That's the monk's day room.
Is it?
Fine vaulted hall, probably used by the monks as a workroom, or perhaps as a novice's lodge. The warming house, the only room in the abbey apart from the infirmary and kitchens where a fire was allowed. Good heavens, Father. The only room in the abbey apart from the infirmary and the kitchens where a fire was allowed.
There's no little notices on the walls. Oh, there's one there.
One up there.
Kitchen, yeah.
Yeah, it just says kitchen, that's all.
What's that? Cellar barrel. Oh.
They did threaten it, didn't they?
That's the no-number solarium. Pantry. Better take someone number 13 first, which we can only get in from this end. She laughed at me and she said, "You're getting like me, probably."
Yeah, perhaps that's it then.
We went up the top and looked along the way over it. This in here is the outer parlour, where important visitors may have approached the heart of the monastery at this point. The cellarer's office was on the first floor. And this is another one of those no numbers.
Yes.
This room here, the bit you were filming before was the cloister. You were filming the
That's right.
thickness of the wall.
Yes. And back around the cloisters, through the Tunnel of Love. And where are we coming to now?
Well, now,
Yes, now.
the dormitory in there
Was a
is
dormitory.
the dormitory. 10. A crease against the north transept shows the line of its roof. The infirmary cloister, a place for the convalescent monks to take their air and admire a central garden.
Huh.
No, I knew that one. It's from Henry VIII.
Hospital?
The infirmary cloister. No, the infirmary hall.
Will you bring some grapes and flowers?
Right.
It was a large and comfortable building which housed the sick and aged members of the community. In latter medieval centuries, it was divided into private wards or apartments.
So there you have it. It's quite big.
Growly meaner and a hern, run round a hern.
Ah, yes. You heard it as well.
Oh,
Exactamo.
You heard it as well.
oh, it's very good.
So there you have it. It's quite big.
Growly meaner and a hern, run round a hern.
Ah, yes.
Exactamo.
You heard it as well.
Oh, it's very good.
Exactamo.
You heard it as well.
Oh, it's very good.
So there you have it. It's quite big.
Growly meaner and a hern, run round a hern.
Ah, yes.
Exactamo.
Dream me round around in your run the hard hern.
Early abbot's lodging, initially occupied by the abbot in the latter Middle Ages, these chambers were probably taken over as private apartments.
Oh, that's the Iridorfer.
Good, that makes everything so much clearer.
Well, I will clarify it for you any second. It's the latrine. This was linked to the monks' dormitory at first floor level. The main drains run below the northern part of the building.
God, they had a big one.
It says the Abbot's Hall, a 14th century edition. This was a grand building in which the abbot could entertain important guests.
He had a small private sitting room to my right, so that must be there somewhere.
That was later occupied by the Abbot of Tintern. There was a private chapel and a dovecote.
Good heavens, more drain.
Can't take too much for the camera, can you?
Chepstow, this is Chepstow.
Now it's darker at the moment and it's much easier to see.
Yes.
Mind you, the driving's no better.
No, you didn't see her cut the cord off, did you?
How could I? Got one eye shut for a start.
Oh dear, yeah, that wasn't a very good
No, no
Well,
wonder,
wasn't much to look at.
no wonder I couldn't line it up very well.
Bed and breakfast from only £17.50 a night. Sunday lunch from £4.95 for 3 courses. Ooh,
Says, oh, says through traffic to the right back there.
Yeah, I'm not going through. I'm just
Sorry, wants to see the town.
Chepstow, this is Chepstow. Well, we can go back up the hill under.
It's got
under
Woolworths. I have you on film, I'm sorry.
Oh no.
It's a nice church over there. If we come back up and around the other side, you might see.
I'll have to have that. Aidan likes churches on his camera.
They just look nice. Part of England, don't they, I suppose?
Yeah.
Chepstow Castle.
There is a castle here in Chepstow.
Is there?
Yeah.
No idea.
Got the papers here.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh my god.
Good Lord, it's a big one too.
Yeah, well, I said it's one of those we'll have to come and see one day. It's no good trying to have a look at it tonight. You need to come and see it, I think. You Port of Monmouth, no?
Oh, you're coming my way. You would, wouldn't you? Oh, good
You know
heavens.
where you're going?
No, haven't a clue.
Oh, there's the river, look, out there.
Yeah, I know.
Come to England.
So what is that?
God.
Oh, we're in England
Oh, I have to
now.
have a car up my arse, don't
Well,
I?
you should have turned right there.
It's one to come and see, isn't it?
That is massive.
Oh, got to go the other way. Castle. Well, Chepstow won't take very long to get to, will it?
No?
It's quite quick. Old gateway, I've got him.
Yeah.
It's a very old town, isn't it, Chepstow, I think?
Yeah, very
Not too
Oh, it's
fast.
Going into England.
I think it was fought over by the Welsh and English, wasn't it? Is it Chepstow? Oh, fish and chips and things. Ooh.
You hungry again?
I'm always bloody over you when I'm worried.
Those 3 mountain pigs you had for breakfast obviously weren't enough. Isn't it lovely?
I'm going to see a lot of it through that sodding edge. Oh. Edge.
Lovely. Lovely. Blimey. Yes, thank you.
Now, some of these pictures aren't going to be very good, the way you're shaking about.
See, I'm not even able to sit no.
Right, I'm filming, but I'm not getting very much.
No, I'm not being nice cloud around
Yeah, then he drives through a blooming load of houses.
I'm sorry, I'm predetermined by the road. It goes this way, I have to follow it. Look at that sky.
He drives a car, does he? Oh, there's a church tower down here.
What's up with you?
Drives a car, is he?
Oh, look at those clouds in there. Brilliant. He's watching the road.
I'm taking the road sign warmly. Whoops.
Just look to your left in a second.
Oh, look at that. Straight ahead.
Oh, that's a bit vicious.
I've got it on tape, whatever it is.
I think it's the sun, Father.
I think there's some traffic lights here.
There is.
And they're green.
With that sunlight dead in your face, a bit difficult.
Yes.
Station Road there. Get down here out the way, I'll take that piece of cloud. It's the last thing I do. Go slowly. Get off my leg.
Quickly.
Oh, not going to catch you.
Oh, ow.
Traffic signals to speak. Oh, worse. So we know you're sitting back there.
Went round there so you could get that.
Oh. Because I said you were not going to catch you, you decided you'd go.
Through the middle of Bath or not?
Whichever you prefer.
We've done it before. It's up to you though. Oh God. We never had this last time we came down to Bath. What place is this?
Atworth.
Atworth. This little place is Atworth.
That's a Walnut Warwick.
Yeah, with the clock on top. Very good. Oh, well, this is quite pleasant.
Rather nice little village. Oh, that's quite like it.
I can't see much of it. I'm filming. He will do that. When I start to turn and do something, he turns and bend.